Yeah, there's the new strain from England. Um, it's super contagious, guys, and it's here in the U.S. So we got to be careful. You know, we have to. I mean, don't fall asleep on this. Don't don't get don't get comfortable. Let me show you why. And this is depressing. So I have my own website. It's called Political Pain, and this is where I do original reporting. And because I'm just another guy talking on YouTube, but I'm also a print journalist. That's where my history is. And I started hearing about the local mortuaries here in the Central Coast. And I wrote this story yesterday. Santa Maria mortuaries fill as coronavirus inspections spike on the Central Coast. Here. When California went into lockdown thanks to the coronavirus pandemic in 2020, Moreno Mortuary in Santa Maria didn't see a heavy surge in families needing their services. But that's all changed in the last few weeks, according to owner Joe Moreno. Quote, "We were the first ones to get a COVID case in Santa Barbara County," Moreno said. "The coroner's office said it was going to be a big to-do, but it wasn't that many. Just with the last 2 or 3 weeks after Christmas was when it skyrocketed." Moreno said his funeral home is now nearly at capacity. For an industry that relies heavily on PPE, keeping a stock of necessary supplies is difficult. The amount of storage space available in his downtown mortuary has been a challenge over the past weeks. That's Moreno Mortuary there. So guys, only now are the mortuaries hitting capacity. Only now are we seeing the surge that this area didn't think it was going to be hit that hard. And the anti-maskers and the anti-lockdown people have said that this whole time, that, oh, hey, we can't why do we need all these lockdowns? We hardly have any cases. We had a massive outbreak at the federal prison in Lompoc. People said, why do our cases need to be lumped in with theirs? And we got included in the regional lockdown with LA. And then it was this big, oh, well, why do we have to be with LA? Well, here we are now. Our hospitals are nearing capacity. Look at this. By the numbers, this is in the Santa Barbara Independent. By the numbers, Santa Barbara's third and worst COVID-19 wave. Doctors have expressed extreme frustration with residents who continue to flout orders. This is the graph that Santa Barbara County Public Health came up with, guys. They had to change the graph. Listen to this. This week, Santa Barbara County's COVID-19 cases shot off the charts, literally. Quote, "Our numbers are increased by so much that we had to adjust the axes and the scales of the charts and maps," said Dr. Van De Reynoso, the county's public health director, at a press conference. They had to change the X and Y axes of the chart because it's peaked so much. You see this end here, this high tail here? We're at thousands of current cases, and and now our public health officials are just losing hope. Top doc, I'm at a loss. I honestly don't know what to say anymore. As hospitals and deaths skyrocket, Ansorg laments continued disregard of health orders. Does anybody care about our medical professionals, right? I mean, they're just barely getting vaccinated. The mortuary staff haven't even been vaccinated yet, and they have to work with the victims of this virus every day. They have to work with their bodies. It's terribly depressing. This is Dr. Henning Ansorg, the county's public health officer, not the director, but the public health officer, on a Zoom call with the press. With the current situation, I'm at a loss, he said. I honestly don't know what to say anymore. Many people are blatantly disregarding all warnings. There's a lot of traveling, a lot of mixing and mingling and not wearing masks. I understand that people are tired of the pandemic, Ansorg continued. However, denial of the facts will only make things worse. Those facts are as follows. Well, this is a bit old, so, this is from like a couple weeks ago. So it's even worse now, guys. It's even worse now. Just go back to March. Do what you did then. Stay home. If you can, get your job to not to let you work at home, or limit your exposure, do everything you can, be a mask authoritarian, tell people to wear their masks. Dark Hood 88 says, I've seen many freakouts about masks in town. Yeah, I mean, and be careful. Obviously, there are literally people who've been killed over asking other people to wear masks, but pick your battles. And I mean, it's now more important than ever. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Valor Comics, craziest part was how the mortuary said months ago there was a wait list for coolers to store dead bodies. Yeah. Magner Maloney said that they had to wait for a new cooling whatever, unit or whatever you want to call it. Dark Hood 88, COVID saves us from a fascist. That's so sad. Yeah, it is really sad. If we just go back to my story really quick, it's, our society is so, what's the word I'm looking for? We're all so isolated by our system right now, whether you want to blame capitalism or blame, hyperpolarization or whatever, but we are all so, just relegated to our families and our friends. And now COVID has made that worse. It's like the death rate, either you're affected by it or you're just hearing about it. And some people, they just, if they don't know anybody who's been affected, they just really don't think it's a big deal. This is a quote from the funeral director at Magner Maloney. I've had to sit with just too many families, and it's heartbreaking, Perkle said. I just think that everyone needs to take the precautions that were set forth, and they need to be taken to stop the spread of COVID. This poor mortuary owner, it's scary for us too, because I put myself in this situation. If I were to get sick, what would happen to the business? Moreno said. If I got sick, I couldn't help the families. My staff got sick. We would basically have to close down for 2 weeks, and everyone who came here would have to get reverted to another funeral home, and that would put twice the load on them. So this guy recognizes, I mean, how dystopian is this as a funeral home? He recognizes, if I get sick, then what's going to happen to the other funeral homes? I mean, this is another one from Perkle. We're at a bad point right now, in my opinion, he said. I'm no expert, but we're unfortunately serving families that I wouldn't be expecting to serve right now. I'd expect to be serving them years from now, but unfortunately they are passing a little untimely, and that is a direct relationship to COVID, as I've seen. So there you go. Also, hey, you can donate on politicalpain.com. Feel free if you want. But so, I mean, that's where we're at with COVID, guys. It's deadly serious. It's been serious from the beginning. Now we have a hyper contagious strain from Britain. We got to be careful. I mean, think of it. This is the finish line to the vaccine.